8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, read by Soundit Avam. The President instructs to release lands for grazing while visiting the Ambewala farm. A special unit will be set up to promote STEM education in Sri Lanka. The Health Minister instructs the Ministry officials to appoint a committee to prepare a list of drugs to consider a price reduction. The Education Ministry issues special announcement for teachers assigned to other schools. A 2-day island-wide dengue prevention program will be implemented by the Ministry of Health on the 30th and the 31st of this month. A Memorandum of Understanding MOU will be established between the Foreign Employment Bureau and the Department of Registration of Persons to prevent fraud in foreign travel. A new Commissioner General of Excise appointed. In news overseas, China COVID, the US considers restrictions on Chinese arrivals. In sports overseas, Australia versus South Africa, Alex Carey century keeps hosts in charge in Melbourne. And in local sports, the Sri Lanka squad for India tour announced. A 2-day island-wide dengue prevention program will be implemented by the Ministry of Health on the 30th and the 31st of this month. The main objective is to control the dengue spread next year. The general public is requested to clean their home front and destroy all dengue breeding places during these 2-day programs. The ministry is also expected to carry out a special operation to identify the dengue breeding places in public places and to destroy them. It should be noted that 75,434 dengue patients have been identified during this year. According to the ministry sources, there is a risk of dengue spread in January 2023. Considering this fact, the ministry has declared this 2-day dengue prevention program to control this menace. A Memorandum of Understanding will be established between the Foreign Employment Bureau and the Department of Registration of Persons. This exercise is done to prevent the individuals providing wrong information such as name, age, residence, address, and wrong passport details which lead to fake passport records. The MOU will allow the Registration of Persons and Foreign Employment Bureau to link up through the computer network system. Thereby, the crucial data will be available at both ends. According to a proposal submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the interim budget presented to Parliament recently, 5 special compartments have been prepared for transporting vegetables by train by the Railway Department's Sales and Marketing Division. Vegetables being loaded at the Nanuoya station to the train. As a pilot project, the transportation of vegetables from the Nanuoya railway station to Colombo Fort started at 5 p.m. yesterday, and the special train is scheduled to reach Colombo Fort at 12 midnight. Railway Department's Sales and Marketing Department Deputy Director Asanka Samarasinghe said the train will transport vegetables to the supermarkets and the Manning Market in Colombo. He said this will also save fuel when transporting vegetables and fruits, and that the train will continue to operate from January after the shortcomings are sorted out. Vegetables, flowers and fruits grown in the upcountry areas are expected to be transported by this special train. Besides, New Aurelia vegetables, fruits and flowers grown in Bandaravela and Valimada is also expected to be transported, and vegetables and fruits delivered for transportation from Nanuoya railway station to all railway stations. The station master further said that when the train is running from Colombo Fort to Nanuoya, food items will also be carried as well. Senior Administrative Officer Saman Jayasinghe has been appointed as the new Commissioner General of Excise Department. He has been appointed to the position by the Cabinet of Ministers with effect from January 2nd, 2023. The Minister of Education, Susil Premajayantha, says a special unit will be set up to promote STEM education with a combination of science, technology, engineering and mathematics next year. The State Minister said at present, 76% of the country's education, both secondary and tertiary, is not based on science or technology. He said the unit will be set up at the ministry and next year will be dedicated to promoting STEM education. Even arts and commerce subjects will have science or technology incorporated. Minister Premajayantha said the country's education system failed to change after the second industrial revolution and the third industrial revolution in information technology. We need to be prepared for the fourth digital revolution. We have had many syllabus changes, but governments could not bring reforms to the education system. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. President Ranil Wickremesinghe instructed the Nuwara District Secretary and Commissioner to immediately provide 30 acres of abandoned land adjacent to the Ambavela farm to them and provide the necessary facilities to develop it as grazing land to meet the food requirement of the dairy cows. President Ranil Wickremesinghe issued these instructions yesterday during an observation tour of the United Dairies Lanka Private Limited, which belongs to the Ambavela Farm Group. The President commended the systematic growth achieved by the Ambavela farm in the dairy production industry, adding that it has set an example for other dairy farms as well. The President also instructed to open this farm for research activities for university students in the country to gain experience in the dairy farming field. The General Manager of the Ambavela Farm Group, Sarat Bandara, said that the Ambavela farm is the main centre in Sri Lanka as well as in South Asia, which can boast of the highest technical application in dairy production and farming technology. Presently, there are about 1,000 dairy cows at the Ambavela farm. All activities such as maintaining the dairy cows, providing necessary fodder, weighing, diagnosing diseases, and separating them from others are done through an automated system. The cows are milked thrice a day, and 40,000 litres of liquid milk is supplied to the market daily. The Ministry of Education has decided to extend the period of assignment of teachers working away from their regular place of work attached to other schools due to various reasons. The Ministry of Education pointed out that the assignments, which are scheduled to end on January 31, 2023, will be extended until March 24, 2023, when the 2022 school academic year ends and until the Transfer Board takes measures for their relevant transfers. Accordingly, it is also stated that no letter will be issued again regarding the teachers who are attached to other schools until January 31st, adding that the same letter which is issued in this regard will be effective until March 24th next year. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Health Minister Kelly Rambukwala has instructed the ministry to appoint a committee to prepare a list of drugs to consider price reduction. The GMOA spokesman, Dr. Chamil Vijay said the minister had given the instructions during a discussion held with the GMOA. Earlier, the government allowed an increase in the price of medicines by 100 to 80% on 2 occasions. Following the Health Ministry's advice, Minister Kelly Rambukwala said there are about 1,300 medicine brands used in the country, but only 100 medicines come under price control. The prices of the remaining medicines have gone up by 600%, which is not affordable. Dr. Vijay Singh said the GMOA had introduced a mechanism to reduce the prices. Meanwhile, participating in a press briefing, the Health Minister said that there are 14 most essential medicines in the country. He admitted that there is limitation on certain drugs. The Indian credit line for drug imports scheduled to expire this month. The minister said after meeting the Indian High Commissioner, the deadline is extended to another 3 months. Medicine imports will commence immediately after the approval of the National Drug Regulatory Authority and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
The Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says no power cuts will be imposed in view of Christmas and New Year this year. Accordingly, no power cuts will be imposed on the 31st of December and on the 1st of January 2023 and came to you in Watchlight.
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
World News brought to you by courtesy of
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Making headlines, China COVID, the US considers restrictions on Chinese arrivals. Hong Kong to scrap almost all its COVID rules, and Nigeria's Calabar Carnival, 14 killed at annual bikers event. The US is considering imposing new COVID restrictions on Chinese arrivals after Beijing announced it would reopen its borders next month. American officials say this is due to a lack of transparency surrounding the virus in China as cases surge. Japan, Malaysia and Taiwan, worried at importing COVID cases, have already outlined tighter measures for Chinese travellers, including negative tests. Hong Kong is dropping almost all its COVID restrictions this week, following a similar move by mainland China. From Thursday, people arriving in the city, a special administrative region of China, will no longer have to do mandatory PCR tests. The vaccine pass system will also be scrapped, but compulsory masks in public places will continue. At least 14 people have been killed and 24 others injured after a vehicle ploughed into crowds watching bikers at a popular carnival in Nigeria's southern port city of Calabar. Eyewitnesses said that a speeding driver lost control of the car. Pictures shared online in the immediate aftermath of the incident show bodies strewn across the street. Back to the headlines of the world news. China COVID, the US considers restrictions on Chinese arrivals. Hong Kong to scrap almost all its COVID rules. And Nigeria's Calabar Carnival, 14 killed at annual bikers event. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News.
The Minister of Tourism, Hareen Fernandez, states that 701,331 tourists visited Sri Lanka between January 2022 and December 26, 2022. The minister pointed out that the government expects tourist arrivals to hit 720,000 in total by the end of 2022. The number of tourist arrivals in the year 2021 stood at 194,495. According to the summary report on tourist arrivals this year, a total of 73,314 tourists have visited Sri Lanka just within this month as of December 26th. The Tourism Minister further stated that a considerable number of tourists are scheduled to visit Sri Lanka in the months of January and February next year, and came to you in development news. On to sports cricket. Wicketkeeper Alex Carey scored a maiden century as Australia closed in on a series-sealing win over South Africa on day 3 of the second test. The hosts racked up 575 for 8 in their first innings reply to South Africa's 189 before declaring and switching the spotlight on the Proteas. The call was justified as South African skipper Dean Elgar, who scored for a duck and his side fell to 15 for 1. Play was abandoned early as a drizzle hit the Melbourne cricket ground. And on to local sports news. Sri Lanka Cricket SLC has announced a 20-member squad selected by the selection committee to take part in the upcoming Sri Lanka Tour of India 2022-2023. The Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs, Roshan Ranasinghe, has granted his approval for the selected squad, the SLC said. Accordingly, the Sri Lankan team will take part in 3 ODIs and 3 T20Is during the tour. The squad will be captained by Dasun Shanaka, while Kusal Mendis has been named as the vice-captain for the ODI matches and Wanindu Hasranga as the vice-captain for the T20Is. Meanwhile, Bhanuka Rajapaksa and Nuwan Tushara will take part only in the 3 T20 matches, while Jeffrey Vandersay and Wanindu Fernando will play only in the ODIs. The squad is as follows: Dasun Shanaka captain, Pathum Nisanka, Avishka Fernando, Sadira Samaravikrama, Kusal Mendis vice-captain for ODIs, Bhanuka Rajapaksa only for T20Is, Charit Asalanka, Dhananjaya De Silva, Wanindu Hasaranga, vice-captain for T20Is, Ashen Bandara, Mahish Thikshana, Jeffrey Vandersay only for ODIs, Chamika Karunaratna, Dilshan Madhushankar, Kasun Rajitha, Nuwanidu Fernando only for ODIs, Dunit Vellalake, Pramod Madhushan, Lairu Kumara and Nuwan Tushara only for T20Is. And that came to you in sports news.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest, an interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Indonesian ambassador Devi Gusting Tobing requested Sri Lankan manufacturers to jointly develop pharmaceutical and fertilizer products and to obtain technical know-how with the Indonesian manufacturers. She said this when the president of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka, Kirti Gunawardena, and the board of members met the ambassador last week. The Indonesian ambassador also discussed a few areas where they have expertise, where Sri Lankan businesses can collaborate with them and improve the industry. That's Business News. Economic News up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest, an interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Economic News, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
The Hamilton International Port HIP is supporting the Colombo Dockyard PLC, CD PLC, to handle running repairs to vessels while they remain afloat in the harbour. The majority of vessels directed to the HIP for afloat repairs come with damage experienced below the waterline. The CD PLC carries out permanent repairs on these ships with the service assistance from the HIP and came to you in Economic News.
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
The Met Department says that several spells of light showers will occur in the northern and eastern provinces. Showers and thundershowers may occur at a few places in the western and Sabragama provinces during the afternoon or night. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the International Weather Forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather was cloudy. Today's daytime temperature was observed to be around 27 degrees Celsius. Tonight's temperature will be around 26 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 26 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index AQI is 26. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. However, sensitive groups may experience minor to moderate symptoms from long-term exposure. And to conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The President instructs to release lands for grazing while visiting the Ambewala farm. A special unit will be set up to promote STEM education in Sri Lanka. The Health Minister instructs the Ministry officials to appoint a committee to prepare a list of drugs to consider a price reduction. The Education Ministry issues a special announcement for teachers assigned to other schools. A 2-day island-wide dengue prevention program will be implemented by the Ministry of Health on the 30th and the 31st of this month. A memorandum of understanding will be established between the Foreign Employment Bureau and the Department of Registration of Persons to prevent fraud in foreign travel. A new Commissioner General of Exercise appointed. China COVID, the US considers restrictions on Chinese arrivals. And Australia versus South Africa, Alex Carey century keeps hosts in charge in Melbourne, and Sri Lanka's squad for India tour announced. That concludes tonight's news broadcast.